So I forgot to make a coffee, had to go run and make one. Alright, so what we have in for now, a bit different, obviously the usual, building game gears up when we get 5. But I've got 2 returns here. There's no personal info on these, so we basically got 2 bouncers. One, I think they're both GBCs. That one's a GBC. Let's see what this one is. Yeah, so we've got 2 Game Boy Colors come back with faults. These are warranted, so this one's like just under a year old, and I haven't checked this one, but the order number tells me it's not a year old, so let's try fix these 2. Well, we will fix them, we won't try. Let's see what the issue is. Yeah, we got face cam the other day, fully tracking as well, so I can't hide. Like, the only thing is if I go to grab something down here, and then it loses tracking, you get crotch view instead of face view. That's the only downside. So this one is a Game Boy Color. It's had upgraded shell, screen, sound caps, USB, which, yes it has, so it's got the clean power in the back of there. Our shell, it's all cracked, so we'll swap that shell out. Customer's got a big crack down the front. Everything works except the power on light and sound. So let's have a quick look at that. Yep, so that'll be the touch sensor for the colour. That's the brightness. Where's the colour one there? Yep, it's not wrong. There's no sound there. Let's put this on charge just to see if we get that power light, because we might. Yep, I think that's probably a bad LED. Oh yeah, defo. I literally started the live, looked, went, shit, no coffee, and just left it there while I made one. Right, so let's see. Can't charge it. See if we've got audio. So, got audio on the port. Sometimes it's just the port sticking, so. Nope. So it could be bad speaker, bad amp, maybe. I doubt it's the amp now, but they're the 2 issues. We have no light, so we look over here. You've got no power light, and obviously a speaker issue, so it should be fairly easy to fix. We will have to charge that battery as well. I think it's quite low. Let's just check what voltage we have in the first place. Let me just write a test message on chat as well, because I don't think, yeah, like the multi-stream chat works, but I think the first few minutes of the stream, it doesn't, shows up on screen, but doesn't show up on my little chat at the side, so sometimes I miss messages. Yeah, 3.3, so that's fine, that's working. There's no issues with the clean juice. So to remove this, we want to, because this will be permanently powered, tweezers in between there, lift up, and this will lift the battery out like that. But otherwise it's still powered. Now it's not powered. We can take the USB wire off here. Otherwise we won't be able to get the case apart. Promo codes, no, there is technically one, and if you enter, I think it's happy return, you get that email once a year. If you don't, it's like only one time use ever, but if you don't check out and it's been a year, then the system automatically sends you a code that says happy return and you get 10% off. I rarely run discount codes. I've started doing flash sales, but more so on just consoles, not like on the whole store at the minute. I should do them, to be honest, in the live streams. That'd probably be quite a good little thing to do. If you join in on the lives, I'll enable like a discount code while you're on live or something. I might do that on the next one, and just enable the code literally while the live's running. Afternoon, glad you're liking all the streams. So we're doing something a little bit different this time, which is Game Boy Color repairs. I don't usually do these, but these are 2 returns for faults, so thought I might as well take a quick look. Nice, yeah, you got that code working. You just can't use it again now, so make sure you place a nice big order. Yeah, I've only just started live streaming. Probably a week or two, well, probably a few weeks ago, I had to stream on TikTok only for a few goes before it lets me do this kind of multi-camera stream thing. But then I've done them most days now, to be honest, because I just turn the camera on and start working. I don't really plan them. So it's a lot less work than a pre-recorded video. Flash on the Game Boys, yeah, I probably will. We've got a clear purple SP at the minute because we never sell the SPs for some reason, so I put a sale on that and then we started selling them. And I'll probably run like just a complete OG Game Boy next, maybe in a few days. I'll swap it out for the Game Boy original. Right, so on this, the fault, using the nice zoomy lens, we can zoom right in. And this is the headphone port. So there's two things that this could be. Well, there's a few, but two main things. This connector here, so let's go even zoomier. So you see this bar here? This bar, I think, connects to pin 5. And this pad here connects to maybe pin 4. I don't know where they are, but we can measure them here. It doesn't make too much difference. We put the multimeter into continuity mode. So it beeps. What should happen is when there's no headphone in, these two should have continuity, which they do. And when we put a headphone in, watch what happens. So you see this plastic simply gets lifted up by this shaft here and pushes that bar away. So now obviously those two pins aren't connected. That's how most headphone ports work. So when they're down, that means there's a headphone removed and it tells the amp to turn on. So if that wasn't shorted, it would think it's in headphone mode, and that's why you're getting no speaker audio. But that's not the case here. So we know that's not the case, but now we've redone that, let's just double check the issue hasn't magically resolved itself. Thanks, Jimbo. I'm glad you're liking the streams. That's on, and bear in mind we'll only get the ding on this, so that's obviously got no audio, we'd hear it by now. So we're likely looking at, could be a dead cleanup, could be a dead, no. How many of you have seen that while we're sitting here talking? Power of observation. That's why the speaker isn't working. Wire's hanging off. So we should be able to just melt a fresh piece. And tack it on. I'm probably going to shell swap this anyway because the shell's all cracked. I will obviously shell swap. This will reflow, just for good measure. And that now we should have sound. I can't see being more than just that. Yeah, someone spotted the speaker wire as well. There we go, speaker. So that's the sound issue sorted. Now, why don't we get the light here? So a quick way to test the LED is with a multimeter in diode mode, if you've got one. And where are the pins to the LED? So the pins are there, these two pins. Let's zoom nicely in. Oh, we are fully zoomed in. Let's just do digital zoom. So these two pins here are the LED. And I think this is meant to be a symbol of a diode really crushed in, which I'm guessing up with an arrow pointing down. So this would be the black, the cathode, and this would be the anode. That might be the way around. But if we go into diode mode on the meter, do I have another? Let me just grab an LED so you know what I'm going to show you and what to expect. So I've got a tub full of LEDs here. Now let's just get a red one. So this is coated red already, so it's not actually lit at the minute. Zoom out a little bit. That's a bit too close. And then if we get the multimeter now, The long leg, I always forget this way around. I think the long leg is the positive, but we'll soon find out. Probably get it the wrong way. Yeah, so long leg is positive, so if you touch the multimeter on, it'll just pass enough current through to light the diode. So if we look at this and zoom in a bit more, we can just try it both ways. It doesn't really matter which way we try it, but what we're looking for is the light to light up. So probably do it like this. Get it that way. And then if I probe on here and here, no light, go this way. No light. Well, let me double check with my eyes, but now that looks like just an actual bad LED, I think. So we probably need to get it out the shell to be able to see it a bit more, and then we can obviously do a shell swap after. But it's looking like just a simple bad LED. Right, so let's get this out. Let me just make a call quickly to get the clear shell brought up. We might as well get the shell swapped at the same time. That'll be a shell delivered in a minute. Yeah, you can ask questions on repairs if you want. Ah, yeah, Doom chair. So you can only see that on the vertical streams at the minute. So yeah, I don't think I've missed anything on chat. Right, so we need to get this board out, and I'll probably just grab another Game Boy Color. Not that it matters, it's only an LED swap, but just to prove that, obviously, the multimeter would work on the LED to turn it on. I should have one over here, 1 second. Yep, so we have one here we'll strip down. So let's just quickly strip this down. And then we can, that's that one in a minute. We can just prove that the theory works. Removing flux, just heat the board up. So best way to get rid of flux on here, melt it in. So there's some flux, we're doing some work. We'll burn the flux in, put some solder in, and then we'll let that cool a minute. And as flux cools, it gets a lot stickier. Yeah, I've just literally started doing lives about a week ago. But like I say, they're quite easy to just press record and jump on and just carry on working. So as long as I don't have to keep running out the room to do other things, I kind of try and get everything done so I can stay in this chair as long as possible, because if I have to go out and start doing other work, then there's no point just leaving the stream on. But I should be here for a good hour or so now at least. As that. So you see that's already sticky, and if you go to remove it, it's like, it's quite, you know, just spreads around. So instead of doing that, all you've got to do is hot air, 480 degrees, literally 5 seconds, 5-10 seconds at most. It's not the best example because you can't really see the burn on this, but you'll see after. That's warm, wipe off while it's warm, You don't even need IPA, you can wipe off first, and then IPA after, and that's squeaky clean. Nothing at all on there. So to remove flux, just literally get the board hot. Like, pretend you're just going to solder something and warm the board up as much as possible, then just wipe it off. Favourite console? Probably for Game Boy. The only reason the Game Boy would be my favourite is Pokemon, but probably the PlayStation or the N64, to be honest, just because of Resident Evil and Zelda. But to be honest, Pokemon's got quite a lot of memories for me. Pokemon Yellow mainly. So I've got about 5 personal Game Boys I've built up and modded in different ways. So I do really like the Game Boys, but I think Resident Evil would still take the win for me on the PlayStation. Oh yeah, the other option as well, just chuck it in the dishwasher. That's what I've done with the Mac SE twice. Comes out absolutely spotless. So just make sure you don't put a screen in. Take the screen off, take the speaker off, dishwasher the rest. It'll come out flawless. And then just spray the whole board with IPA, and that'll remove any, contaminants from the dishwasher. Right, so this is just a stock Game Boy. We won't be using anything from that anyway, because this will get... oh, my camera froze. Yeah, so side camera has froze. Let me just power cycle this camera. We'll just go to... That's strange, never done that before. We'll go to the overhead a minute. And turn him back on. I thought it was the stream at first, then I saw my face moving. Favourite Pokemon, as in the actual Pokemon or the game. Favourite game is Yellow. Favourite Pokemon... Oh, I'd have to think, to be honest. What did I used to use as a kid? I think Zapdos was my favourite on Pokemon Yellow. Let's see if that camera's back up. No, let me see if I can... I don't know if I can edit this camera live. No, that's a pain. Thank you. Yeah, I think we've lost the side camera at the minute. I don't think I can start this camera up midstream. Create scene projector. Yeah, it like locks all your cameras, so you can't. Oh my god, no, ignore me. Floating cam. I'm looking at the scene. Right, deactivate. Activate. There we go. Got camera back. No detergent, chuck detergent in. Do everything, literally dishwasher it like your dishwashing plates. And it'll work, trust me. Just make sure you IPA it once it's done to get rid of anything that's left, like any kind of contaminant, but it'll come out pretty clean. Right, so this is the known working board. Most complicated thing I've repaired is probably the Mac SE I've repaired recently. Before that, and that's just because I don't know anything about them, but before that was the Multi-Mega. Again, just mainly things that don't have any schematics, or even if they do, if I've not worked on them, then they can be difficult. This I can't see. But nothing's outside the reach of possibility. It's just if you haven't worked on stuff, then it can be harder to diagnose. This is really difficult to see. Probe and see. Now that's breaking down voltage. Maybe the LED is working because, yeah, this is live. I might just apply power to it because I can't really see this light. It's like a pre-coloured lens, and probing over even this one, because it's probably such a low current LED, we can't really see it like this. Or I'll tell you what, let's just, I know I'm doing this a long-winded way instead of just swapping a diode, but I like to see to prove the theory first. So let's just tack a few little flying leads on here so we can actually probe this thing and see what we're doing. And then we can always current limit and power on the LED from the bench if we have to. Nope, that was a massive blob of solder where it didn't need to be. Try that again. So that's one wire. Do the same for the other. No super UFO, never heard of it, to be honest. Thanks for the compliment, Mario. Much appreciated. So we have 2 flying leads on here. This is on the working console. Well, we say it's working. We haven't even proven if this is a working console yet. Probably should test that, otherwise the test isn't going to work. Yeah, so that light works on this actual console with power. So now let's just test if the theory of using the multimeter in diode mode still lights this up, because some of them might not light up. Depends on the voltage breakdown and how bright they are versus how much current you have to put through them, because the multimeter will limit the current. So if it's an LED that needs quite a bit of current, then it's not going to light up. Right, so now we've got wires I can hold off to the side while we look on camera if this thing lights up. Again, we'll just try it both ways. So this is one way around. And that doesn't get any breakdown. Oh, there you go. Yes, it does. There, so that lights up, and that means this is negative. So, yep, the inner wire is the black, the outer is the red. So let's chuck these wires on the customers, and let's just see if it is actually the LED. You can go out the way for now. Put him down there. This way. Yeah, classic Game Boys. We fix Game Boys all day long. You just don't normally see me working on them because I tend to be on other things, but I'm just picking up the returns we've got, and we just got 2 returns. I thought I might as well just quickly jump on them and show you guys some repairs. But if you go to retro6.co.uk, and then there's a send-ins page, and literally in there you'll find all the consoles that we work on. There's very rare exceptions now where if it's not listed, you can contact us, but generally we're too busy to accept anything that isn't listed. Black at the top. Kits that we used to try and sell everything, soldering irons, soldering that, but no, generally just you can ask what you want to use. Soldering iron wise depends on price. Solder, just use any leaded solder. Flux, use Styri V3, not Styri ASM. But if you have any specific budgets, then it really all falls into that, so you can just like let us know your budget and I'll give you some guides. Yes, that LED isn't coming on, so I think it's just a bad LED. One more screw in there, and then we'll swap this. What we'll do is, I need a 3mm LED. I'm just going to probably rob this stock one for now, so I don't have to go hunting for another LED. We just need to remember big bits. I'm just looking at, it's the lazy way of quickly remembering. Inside the LED, you can see that big sort of curve there on the right side, how it's got a point here and a big fat curve there. So I'm just going to remember big fat curve on the inside. That's just a quick way of remembering when this comes out, which way it goes in. And this is nice and easy to remove. Just warm up both pads. And if I can actually grip underneath. There we go, it's out. I will put a note on this after that's missing the LED, and I'll find one later. Repair arcade machines I used to. I did tons of work on multi-megas, Naomi's, you name it, I worked on them all. But they were quite time consuming, and to be honest, a few people I repaired arcades for ended up being dicks online, and just wasn't worth the amount of time and energy spent fixing the arcades versus other things. This will be stuck in the shell, won't it? So we're probably going to have to do a new screen. Let's leave the screen in for now, because we're likely not going to get that out without breaking it, and we want to swap the shell. So let's put him out the way I'm in. We're going to do that shell swap. And LED... Oh. Me suspect the customer is lying. How does an LED come on if there's no LED? So the customer never had an LED. It's not in there. So it's never worked. So I think the customer's probably just... they sent this in originally their console. It wasn't a console we've worked on. It's like a send-in. So they've sent it in. And obviously then mentioned 10 months later there's no LED. But it doesn't matter. It had a genuine sound issue, so we'll do the LED anyway. But they mentioned that, if the LED used to work, it can't have worked unless we've lost this LED midstream somewhere, and I can't see it then on my desk anywhere. We will just put a new LED on anyway. There definitely used to be an LED in here, because these are the pins to the LED. This is the legs. So let me just see if I can tweezer these out. Yeah, they don't even want to come out, them legs. So they've been, I don't know why, but I think that LED's been cut basically. To, just don't get why, but the LED's been cut off at some point. It might have come in like that. Can't see us cutting an LED. There'd be no reason for it. Well, yeah, that's a strange one. Yeah, the Mac SE30s, I think I accidentally deleted them, a few videos on YouTube, because I did a few test lives when I was trying to get things working, and I think I left the title the same. So when I come to look at the videos on YouTube, I thought it was like the 30-second test, and then I realised I deleted the larger videos. But then if you go on it publicly, it shows, but in my private backend part, they're missing now. But I think you should still be able to find them on the other channels. No, not solo. We've got staff. We've got all family, basically. So there's about 5 or 6 of us. Right, so now we've got to put this in the right way. So that was, remember, the fat side on the inside. So it'll be that way. Like that. And then just hold it in position. And get the soldering iron. Lob some solder on, and then try and just tack roughly 1 pin, like that. Check it's in position. No, it is not. Tilt the top of it. There we go, so that's now in position. And now if we zoom in a little bit more, put a little bit of flux on there. And then just tack solder on that leg, let it cool a sec, and then reflow this leg. So that's solder fumes. No, I say it every time I get told off every single time. I've got a fume extractor here. I just don't turn it on when I'm doing the odd bit of soldering, but I really should do. Don't know how safe they are. They're obviously not good for your health, but I don't think I'm going to die tomorrow from it, but yeah, I should put it on. Right then, let's see if we now have LED, which we should do. Now there's actually one on. Yep, there we go. So we have sound and a power line now. So that's that one fixed. Right, so we'll get this reshelled and I'll jump on to the next one. Right, so that's that one getting done. We'll jump onto this one. The flash carts, we don't sell them separate, we sell them with the consoles. So if you buy a console, you can select a flash cart with fully loaded games, basically. Class damaged on the data link port. We'll check it when it's fully built up. I don't think the... if you're talking about the plastic piece, maybe. I can just have a quick look. No, the physical port's fine, so there's nothing wrong with that one. So this one now, GBC powers off intermittently under high load. So I know what this is going to be. Basically, the GBC can't handle high volumes. I need a game. I don't need a game, but I'll help. That face cam sounds crazy. Let's try Pokemon. So with the amp, it's lost now. Where's the face cam buggered off to? There we go. If I show you this, when I should have loaded actually. Zoom out a bit. There we go. When you put full volume up, let's see if this kicks off. I'll try and cover the volume for you. This would normally power off. Okay, well I'm going to take the customer's word for it that it would die under load, because I know it can do. Let me just try some lower voltage ones and you'll probably see the issue. So it's probably when the batteries are low. Oh yeah, we definitely need the fume extractor to make sure Rusty can have his food, that's for sure. Let's see if this fails. There you go, so see, I'll try and cover that sound up. See the power light flickering? So, it's obviously managing though, it's not failing. So I can't actually get this to fail with what the customer's seeing. No, but we'll take a look inside because I know what it might be if he is having a problem. Books I can't really recommend because I don't have any. Like, I'm all self-taught. If you want to learn stuff, just jump on discord.gg/retro6, and there's like 8,000 people on there you can ask questions to and learn from. Or you can just watch these videos as well and kind of pick up bits as you go. But what the issue normally is on the Game Boy Colors is the regulator's not very strong. So it will fail under heavy loads, like the amp is obviously crazy loud, as you could hear. And that'll just pull too much power and reset the console, so I presumed that's what it'd be. But we sell a clean power and a big cap that we fit on to, solve that issue. So I'm going to guess it hasn't got the cap on, and then that'd explain, even though we can't get the issue, that'd explain what the customer sees. And we could also try with a flash cart, because that'll pull even more power. So then, in fact, before I do this, before I open it up, let's try with a flash cart. Just chuck as a flash cart. I've got one. That GB. I don't know if I've got any games in it, but I can, as long as it loads. This will pull a bit more power as well. So we might be able to get it to fail if the flash cart's in. Let's just load. Oh, could have gone Zelda. See, normally to fail, when it gets that Nintendo beep, that's quite a strong beep. So yeah, nothing. So no issue. So you might find this has actually got the cap on, but either way, I can't get the issue that the customer's seen, but I do know the issue is something that can happen if we don't have it set up right inside. So let's just double check. No, it's all installed. So it's got the speaker, it's got the bigger cap, it's got this. So that's literally why, I guess. So there's nothing to do on this one. It's got clean battery springs. It's got good clean power. It's got the larger cap. There's actually nothing wrong with this, as you can see. This happens more often than you'd think. That we'd get customers that will send them back saying something's not working. And it can be as simple as the batteries just went low, and that was the problem. So not much I can do on this one. Everything that we would do on this has been done. Clean battery springs, clean springs in the shell. It's got the clean power on it. It's got the amp on, so there's literally nothing more we can do with this one. Yeah, I've got the Game Boy camera. I used it the other day, funnily enough. Is it still on top here? No, it's in the other room now. I had it in here for a while. The main thing I've got with this fume extractor, like why it's not always useful, is it has to be literally like right here if you're soldering here. You go here and it doesn't really catch them. And then even when you use it, if you're hot airing, which is probably 80% of what I do is hot air work, the hot air just blows the fumes anyway. So the fume extractor does nothing. Could do with a solution for a fume extractor that works with the hot air gun somehow. I don't know what that'd be, whether it's way more powerful or sits above the desk as an entire unit. I don't know. I'd have to try and look into it. Yeah, we do the repairs from home. Saves going out. You can luckily work from one room in your home, no problem. So that's where we do them. So now this one's all good. The customer can watch the live stream back to see, but everything's been checked. There's no issues with this one. So this will just be a return with no issues. I'll give it a quick service, clean and test before it goes back though. So that's the two bouncers out the way. And then you can guess what we'll do next, because I've still got to build more of that. You can go back as is, rebuy label. How many more game keys do we need? Do we know? No. Check on that list. I don't even know. We've got none left anyway. Yeah, the shop was good, but wasn't really popular enough in Milton to be worth keeping open, unfortunately. Let me just check how many game gears I need to build. Done them two. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 4. So we've got to do 4 more. Yeah, the lives I do just randomly, so sometimes a Saturday morning, Sunday night, Monday midday, just whenever fits in with work, so you might catch them, and if not, like I say, you can re-watch them anyway. And onto the thing we seem to do almost every single stream, is to build a game gear up. Let's do this one. I'll get the fume extractor on, considering that's probably the most popular comment these days now with my videos. I know someone mentioned earlier actually as well about the starter kit, about 500. I think it was $500, was it? Let me scroll back up. $500 or pounds. Let's have a look. Yeah, say $300 to $500. So for flux, it's not expensive. It's like £20–30 maybe for a big tube. So just go with Styriflux. Solder, we used to sell it Solder King, but honestly, any leaded. Let's just see what I've even got on here a minute. So this is what I currently use, but we don't sell it anymore. So it's 60% solder, 60% SN, which is what? PB is solder, is lead. SN is what? Tin, maybe? I can never remember that one. But either way, we've got a 40% lead mix. That's what works best for me. For the soldering iron, let's get this cam up and go to here. So this is an I2C, depends, better get in view in case you're on vertical, but I2C, there we go. It's basically a clone of a JBC, and that is as good as a JBC if you just basically buy the genuine tips. So I wouldn't stinge on that. They're only like 130–40 pounds. Hot air, get the quick 861 DW. That's another 100 and something, about 150. That hot air is better than £600 hot airs I've got. So to be honest, you can probably get the same iron I've got, the same hot air I've got, same flux, same solder, and then with whatever money you've got left, grab a Fluke multimeter, probably a 115. Silicon mat. This is a dog mat, so if you just search Amazon for Leash Boss silicon mat, I just use a giant silicon mat that's designed for putting Rusty's dinner on. Yeah, I think Facebook probably haven't notified most people because usually we had like 40 something people on Facebook yesterday. I think it was, which is more than we've had. Whereas this time it's actually quite low views in general. Maybe it's just the time when it's been a work day, Monday, but that might be a hint that the notifications aren't working. Yeah, the little dispenser bottles for IPA. Yeah, they're super useful. You just got to make sure there's no leaks in them. Like, make sure they're airtight and sealed. Otherwise, you'll come in one morning and the IPA's all disappeared because it just evaporates. Yeah, SN's the tin then, which will be Greek for whatever tin is in Greek or Latin, I'm guessing. You can see that flux cleans off nice and easy. This one's probably a bit harder because it's cooled, so see how that's not wiping off. This is where I mentioned just get some heat on here. Yeah, the badges are definitely messed up. The live stream says 47 viewers, but the little notification thing there, or if you're on vertical there, obviously is way below that number, so I think it's just a guide. It's obviously not it's not accurate for some reason. Alright, so we have now, this is where the extractor is now as good as useless because we're hot airing. So this is kind of the point I mentioned, because it doesn't really do much once you're hot airing, it just blows all the fumes about anyway. So just got the door open for now. Right, we need flux on here. Flux 1, flux 2. Oops, that's the customer's batteries. I need to just put them back in a minute. In fact, let me double check so he's got mine. And it's got no batteries in. That's that one. Tested the new boards, yeah, they've already gone. Did I bin the one I broke? I've got so many versions. Neither of them. Anyway, it looks like this. So, Sig Sack and Clean Power, this is another prototype, but yeah, these were getting to like 70, well, actually, they were getting to 90 odd degrees yesterday. I fixed them, so it's just a resistor here to change the frequency of the inductor. So it was running at like, I think 400 kilohertz, so I've set it to 1.2 megahertz. That got the heat down. While I was there, I tuned these to the same. So now all of them run with no heatsink on the back, 54 degrees. So that's sorted. What else have I done? I've added a little blob for like a power save mode. So instead of them being ramped up all the time and basically being permanently active, ready to deliver 10 amps plus, I've put a power save mode solder blob in, so we can make these just run completely cool if they're not under load, but it might introduce audio or video noise, so I've left them as an optional solder blob, but that one's fixed. The rechargeable AAs works fine, but unfortunately with a clean screen, because I forgot the clean screen's backlight taps straight off the batteries, so it doesn't add noise to the circuit. When these AAs, rechargeables, are only 1.2 volt, when they're low, the screen turns off. So this works, but I'm going to have to add a boost regulator to this as well. So it will work, and there's nothing wrong with this design, but I've got to update it before that goes in production. Then we have the clean comps I've just got to install, and then Atari, make sure they still work. And we've still got these little Pico powers we've got to test, which I just haven't got round to yet, so depending on time we can look at them. But yeah, the main one, the Sega Saturn, took a few hours to figure out, and it was just messy, and looking at data sheets and taking time figuring it out, so wasn't going to make the most interesting stream. Right, let's get some hot air on the go. Extra work outside of what we do, mini PCs. We wouldn't at the minute, we're too busy. We used to accept other repairs, but we just don't anymore. We don't have enough time. Yeah, Chad, you jumped in after we fixed a couple of Game Boy Colors, so we're now back onto the usual Game Gears, but you did miss a few different ones this morning. The GBC OLED screen console being drained is probably a problem with your actual OLED screen. It has a wire that you solder to the battery, so it taps off power straight from the battery, because it's similar to like the clean screen. I think either they got the idea from that, or they just thought the same way. But if you tap off the battery, you're not going to add noise back to the system. So there's obviously a fault on the IPS screen itself that's either thinking the console isn't off or something's running, so maybe poke around for heat. Touch with your finger on the board, see if you can feel any heat. But either way, it's likely just the IPS board itself needs swapping. So let me just take a look at that under the scope. Yeah, all good. On to CPU. Yeah, there's some microscopes we were going to buy. I don't even know the name, but like you just look straight in them. You don't have the conventional eyes. It's just like a big open screen, but you can't watch a video on them to see what they're like, and I'd have to drive about 3 hours to go and demo them. Plus they're like $5,000, so we just never bothered. No, there's me and Zach. There's 2 people that do repairs, not just me. And then there's like another 3 or 4 that pack orders. Let's just make sure I get this one nicely aligned. Zoom in a bit more as well, maybe. There we go. Close enough. This type of business, that I think there's a few. There's not many people that do. I don't really know anyone that does repairs as such, but there's people that sell mods. So there's like, which one is there? Someone called 8-Bit Mods, I think I think that business is gone now. I think that went about 6 months ago. But I think 8-Bit Mods was in the UK. There is somebody else in the UK. I want to say Consoles Unleashed, but I don't know whether that's a US company. And is there one other? Something like... they mainly do SNESes. Retro repairs, maybe? But yeah, there's not many, I don't think, that do. I don't know if any of them do repairs. We might be the only ones I know of that do repairs. I know what Rusty's favourite colour is. I'll have to see if you can guess. That looks pretty good. Let's just focus up. Yep, they look good. I'll just check under the scope. Make sure. Yeah, that view count is just completely random. We've got like 40 odd people in. It says there's, what, 15, 16, 17 people, and then it tells me there's 40 on the streams. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Yeah, that's all good. Put the crystal on before I forget. Their favourite colour is treat. No, not far off though. No, there's a colour that most dogs have a favourite. You know, I know it's a favourite colour because all the toys, his favourite toy colour. VGR for Canada. We can reach out to him. I don't think he does the sales that big. Obviously, he's full-time paramedic, so I can certainly work with him if we wanted to see Retro 6 in Canada. I'm sure he would. It's just whether he's got the time for it. One of them colours is correct, yeah? Have a guess which. Oh, no, other one. Green. He's got tons of his green toys. Got a green donut, kiwi. green frogs, but I think it's because dogs see green more vibrant than any other colour. Or he just gets paid out the most for the green toys. Could be that. Nice, so you've got an actual brick and mortar store and you want to go online versus the other way around. So you can certainly email us, just email contact@retro6.co.uk with some details and minimum order volume normally for new stores. Like all of our other wholesalers do between 2,000 and 10,000 a month in like purchases from us with heavy discounts. But obviously when you get started, you won't have that volume from nowhere. So we can work with people on it. It's just the only official one we have here is Retro6 US. All the others run their own independent business and we don't really have any say-so. Whereas the US side, we wanted to make sure that the US side didn't have any competing products or clones more than competing products. So a lot of people clone our work basically, so it was making sure we had a store where we could trust the person doing it wasn't going to sell knockoffs of our products. So there's a bit more direct relationship there than just a wholesaler. We work a lot closer with Marcello to make sure you get the best experience, and anything you have issues with on the US store, it's me behind the scenes that will approve all the repairs, replacements, warranties, things like that. So you're getting the actual same level of service than, buying from the UK. It's no different. Xbox Connect not working. I'd probably, to be honest, try if you can, try it in another console first, just in case it's actually a console issue. Yeah, that's exactly. We want to use. You want to use decent products. That's what we obviously aim to do with all of our stuff. That's why we pretty much only sell our things now. We sell the odd product that isn't ours, and that's one of the problems we tend to find. Like installing other products, they're not always up to scratch. So we rarely sell anything but stuff I've made now. Yeah, single ASIC's done in production. Samples are probably a few days away now, but China have got a holiday in like 8 days, so hopefully I'll get the 1 A6 sample before then. But yeah, I designed it all, I think it was last weekend, and it'll support VA4 and 5 as well, so VA1, 2, 4 and 5, if all goes to plan. Sending messages, you can send them on Discord, so discord.gg/retro6. You can email contact@retro6.co.uk. You can message on here while I'm working away. Facebook Messenger I've now got on my phone, and I do try to keep in touch on there. But yeah, Facebook's like the least monitored one of all of them. But yeah, I'm constantly on all messages everywhere, basically trying to make sure we reply to customers within 1 working day usually. That's all good. Let's clean the desk up a bit. Connectors off that's done. This one had screen flickers and clock issue, so likely going to work now. I reckon that was just a PCB issue originally. Just a bit of clean up here in a minute. That's it. Let's get screen connector. Hall effects on the Elites. No, we stopped doing them. We were fitting them, and they just weren't very good. So they had more jitter on than normal ones, and they didn't seem to smooth out in game, and they took way too long for. We'd have to charge like 90 quid to make it realistically worthwhile. We were charging like 26, 30 pounds, and they were never great, really. So we stopped working on controllers in general. Obviously, a lot grimier as well, with people's hands being on them all the time. So it just wasn't worth it. We've got enough work with everything else to basically pick and choose now of what we want to do. Which seems to just be gaming gears every single day at the minute. Thanks, Tom. Glad you liked it. I don't think we even have had a Mega CD in a while. We were doing like probably 1 or 2 every few weeks. Then we haven't actually had one in a good while. I need to clean up. That's it. And how many of you have actually used this extension port on Game Gear? I've never once used it. I think there's like 4 or 5 games that actually use that extension port. Let's get this little extractor on for a minute. Yeah, the composite on Atari 2600, you need this, the clean comp. So that I designed this. It took me ages to design it, but I reconstruct the entire composite circuit from the TIA chip. It's well known as now the best composite for Atari 2600. It's even on the Atari Age forums if you search for it. Just search for clean comp. Sits over the TIA. You bridge 3 pins and you solder your wire here. Couldn't be simpler. But yeah, we do offer it as well if you want us to do it. Go to retro6.co.uk, send-ins, and then it's the first one, Atari 2600, and you can select the clean comp. Good replacement for Xbox controllers, as in the whole controller being replaced or parts for the controller. No, we don't do mod cases yet for any of those. No plans at the minute. We can make shell kits and molds and everything, but we've got no plans for that right now. For the Xbox Elites, just use the regulars if you don't want to use the buttons. They're built better. In terms of replacement for Elites, I don't think I've come across one, but yeah, the Elites are terrible. They break like if you're using them regularly, they break every 2 months. I guess you could do what we used to do years ago, and we could just mod the original controllers with tactile buttons on the back. Maybe even upgrade stuff. I don't think the scuff controllers are that good anymore in terms of a replacement for Elites. We've worked on a few and can't exactly recommend them. PS2 controllers, we've done quite a few and we stopped working on them, but yeah, they're a fairly simple board. I wouldn't say we've had to diagnose many issues on them though, so nothing I'd really know off the top of my head of any relevance to them. Shall we see if this works? Yeah, just probably go on. If you want that to be looked at, probably jump on discord.gg/retro6. Post it in the PS or the PlayStation desktop channel. There's tons of people in there as well that are obviously enthusiasts, mods, people will lend an eye and see between the community. I'm sure somebody will spot something. Hey Gary, welcome in. Just doing Game Gears at the minute. We've fixed 2 Game Boy Colors. We're just on Game Gear PCBs now. Game Boy with sound issues, yeah, we've just done it. It's just been reshelled at the minute. If it's the clear one, you've just missed it. If you scroll back to the start of the stream, we've just repaired it live. Basically, there wasn't a power LED on, so I don't know whether you basically presumed there was a power LED on or not really noticed and then noticed, or whether we've lost it on desk. But if you scroll back, you'll see when we open it up, I can't see an LED on there, so I've chucked in an LED on anyway. That's not really that important. And we have the speaker was just a wire had broken, so pretty simple, but your case is quite battered, so we're just reshelling it now. Oh yeah, the Game Gear is definitely the most popular. We do tons of mods. We've just had as well the power core in. Yeah, this is the Retro 6 modding. So we just had this power core. So the idea of this is it's a really cheap as in cost-wise power board. Designed it very intelligently, I'd like to think, so that we don't have to use expensive components to achieve a working power board for the Game Gear. Comes with a 3D printed in the conventional sense one as well to save money, so like a home 3D printer, not a resin one. And this should just push over firm like that. And then this now works with normal AA batteries or USB, and it powers the Game Gear up. doesn't have any advanced features. It still has the low battery, but if you go on retro6.co.uk and you'll see the power core on the front page, it'll tell you the limitations, but that's like I think it's £10 or £12 board, nice and cheap. Camera tracking me, this thing is just it's now responding to my voice as well. OBS bot Tiny 2, I want to say. I think that one is. And then this one is actually another one. This is the OBS bot Tail 2. The names are funny, but this one's the £1,000-something one. This one's like the £300 one. The face cam's the £300 one. And then you can obviously control them with a little remote then, so you can zoom in and out, get some nice angles. So that's actually probably not a bad angle for testing this. I can save that as a position, and then you can kind of recall, press 1 and it'll zoom into a this is like the overall view. Press 2 that I've just saved and it'll zoom us back into another position in autofocus. And then this camera above that gets really, if I zoom in and you see, that's all the way zoomed in, and then you can zoom in digitally a bit more, so you can see the quality of this one. This is technically, if we zoom out and up, it's that. So it's Blackmagic Studio with a Canon cinema lens and a motorized zoom. So I'll press here, and you can see this wheel there turning when I press the zoom in and out, or rather the wheel below turning, and then manual focus at the minute. So that's the setup at the minute. I'm probably going to replace this one above with another one of these, so I can do this, zoom around and moving things. It's quite useful, so I don't have to keep stretching up to do it. Mike Skinner, no, never heard of it. Well, never heard of him. I usually get Sean Connery for some reason with the voice, but I don't hear it. And the missus laughs every time people say that, but I've had that loads. Master System 2 not working. In what way? I think without a game. Master System 2. Yeah, Master System 2s have built-in games, so you can turn it on without a game in, and you should get Sonic or Alex Kidd. If you're not getting that, check your power supply. If you're not getting that, check your AV port. It's rarely anything that difficult on a Master System. Right, what are we reckoning? It's going to work, or is it going to be a bad VDP like it always is? Ooh, working. Makes a change. So sounds good as well. Yep, all good. So that's now, I think 3 we've put our crystal on. That's worked exactly as stock with them resistors still on. But that is actually running then with the change in resistance. So maybe that's the way that I originally designed it and it still works. So we'll keep doing the exact same thing until we've done enough and used enough of these crystals. Like, let's try and get through this entire reel. If that many work, we can be confident the design works fine in terms of loading down that crystal. I'll leave that there 2 seconds, just go and grab a coffee. Oh, facecam's lost me. There we go. Most important step, a coffee. Is there a mod for Mega Drive, NES and SNES so you can use HDMI? We have, I think I've got some prototypes from High Speedido for Mega Drive. NES, you want a lava RGB and then convert that to HDMI through an OSSC. SNES, we have a clean RGB for SNES, and then I'd use the clean RGB cable again through an OSSC. So I'd tend to mod, to be honest, I'd mod the consoles, same as the Mega Drive, with clean RGBs. So you get RGB output through a SCART, and then you can send that through an OSSC to get HDMI. If the guy's on whose Game Boy it was, I think it's actually shelved it now. So here it is. So this is now reshelled. You've still got your screen protector on. Let's just go over the top. Zoom out a bit. So obviously there was a little bit of dust on your screen protector. We've got a charger, but there's your power LED now. And obviously you've got audio. So let's just check Pokemon a minute. Oh, so you check Pokemon. This is my nice dirty copy of Pokemon. There we go. So speaker's working, your light's now in. That's an original as well. We just robbed it from an original console, so it's definitely stock. But the LED was cut, so that's why I was saying I don't know whether it's been like that since you sent it, or whether it was cut the first time. But either way, there was never a light in there. It's not like been in there and stopped that I can see. I can't literally find the LED anywhere inside, and it's not on the desk. But yeah, it's all working now. So I might be able to get this back to you today. I'll see if Packers can do it quick enough. But yeah, all good. Oh, you've put Pokemon Blue in as well. And there's a point if you're still on. Is this your Pokemon Blue? Because there's also this game in. I think you sent both. I think this was in the console, and this will be your Pokemon Blue, I'm guessing, as well. So there'll be two games. Where's the speaker as well? We'll just double check your speaker still works. Well, your headphones rather. Yep, so that's headphones. That's speaker. Yep, so we're all good there. Let's see where we're at. Oh, 34 minutes, haven't even played it. Charmander, best choice. Hang on, you want Pokemon Blue? Did you get Charmander on Pokemon Blue? I only ever played Yellow, really, and Red. I thought you couldn't even... Oh yeah, of course, you can pick this 3 starters on both. Actually, that's a good point. I only ever played Yellow, you see, so I always picked Pikachu. On the Red and Blue, was it... I could have sworn you were limited to choice, that's why you brought Red and Blue. That you couldn't pick, say, Charmander at the start of Blue. Ah, yeah, traded, that makes sense. Right, so I'll try and get this one back to you today, hopefully. Right, where are we at? Let me just catch up on chat a minute. I think there's a few questions on there I've maybe missed. Ah, right, so it wasn't limited. I should know that, but like I say, I always just play Yellow and always pick Pikachu. Well, you obviously get Pikachu, don't you? So that's why I never really remember on the Red and Blue. Right, that's one working board. That can go away. And I've got loads. I've got that Neo Geo that needs fixing. I don't really want to set all that up at the minute. I'll just build another Game Gear for now. Then I'll either jump back on tonight if I get time. Or if not, next up is probably going to be that Neo Geo we need to look at. No cost, it's under warranty. It was 10 or 11 months old, so we don't charge for stuff like that. It only took me about 15 minutes. I presume you're at the same address as well, so I can just rebuy the label. When did the shinies come in as well? I think it was gold and silver, wasn't it? Shiny Pokemon, but I played gold in Japanese before it come out in English, and I never actually played the English one as an adult. So I've only ever played the Japanese one, but I can't remember where the shinies were in there. I think they were, because I'm sure I spent hours in the, is it the unknown or the unknown cave? And could have sworn I'd got a shiny and didn't know what it was. Alright, we'll nick the parts off that. And the parts out. Well, let's just, yeah, gold and silver, I thought so. I'm just going to remove some chips from these a minute, because these are boards with missing components already. So these are incomplete boards. I might as well just get the chips off. Scope setup as in oscilloscope or microscope? Oh, I've got chips on here actually as well. 1, 2, the RAM, I don't know why I've got RAM on there. 3, yeah, CPU, so I've got even more of these spare. I've got tons of spare Z80s and CPUs. Wow, yeah, it shows how much time I spent on gold in that cave. But the thing is, I got stuck in that that unknown cave, because obviously it was Japanese and I didn't read Japanese, so I was just blindly trying to complete the game, and I could have sworn the unknown cave I was going to find something or find a different Pokemon, because they kept changing visuals, like different sprites. So I spent that long in there, I found a shiny. Yeah, ceramic caps on these, like these I've got, even these broken ones. No need to do anything else. Ceramic caps everywhere you can, really. But for the Game Gear, they can all be ceramic, no problem. And that's kind of proven by the fact that the re-PCB. And there you go. There's literally 2 caps there. One there, there's your bulk caps, and the rest are just decoupling caps, so perfectly fine. That Z80 looks knackered, I'm not even going to nick that, I'll just nick this connector. Microscope, its actual microscope is just an Amtech. So we're whapping this hot air gun around like it's a toy. That's still not showing you. And I zoomed in. Zoom out. There we go. Jeez, okay. Zoom out even more. So microscope's AM scope or AM scope. That's the HDMI I don't use because it's worse than my camera above. Just an AM scope basically with a mixture of a random head and a random arm. That's the ones I use. Put this up to max. No, the Xbox frag, and I've still got it somewhere. I've got even more than that as well. Just haven't had time to jump back on them. I was going to write some software to interpret the I2C. I think it's the I2C or the SPI. I'm pretty sure it's I2C. I was going to write some software to read the errors properly and figure out what it was, but just time and not really jump back on it. The re-PCBs, they're quite cheap. I think they're £20-something. I can check the website in a second. And obviously we have, like everything on the store really, we have bulk discount. So you buy 10, you get a bigger discount. You buy 30, you get more. technique isn't working on this port. Does not want to come off. There we go. Yeah, still come off okay. Yeah, that side. Is that done? An 8K, yeah, an 8K camera is going to be bull. This is a 1K stream above, and you can see how clear it is. That's kind of the problem with when they're quoting pixels. They're never really that good. You can get a Blackmagic 1K camera that outperforms a 4K or 8K other camera. It's not really about the pixels, it's just more about the quality. It's like this tiny face cam is only 1K. Actually, I think it is technically 4K, but even if you set it to 1K, it's better than most other cameras. And I can't see Mechanic coming out with anything that good, to be honest. The kind of mid, so it's not. I can't see them coming out with something that competes with these kind of cameras. Do we make good money from it? Yes and no. Nothing massive, not on the repair side. Pays a decent wage, I guess, but it's obviously man hours, so you're never going to make that much when you're physically hands-on. It's just we enjoy it, so that helps as well. Modding the 360, just go on retro6.co.uk, go to Send-ins, and then scroll to the bottom, Xbox 360, and you can select RGH with, I think it's a 2 terabyte loaded hard drive. Social media pay, we get nothing from it at the minute. We get, like, other than Liam, who donates nearly, I think it's the only donation we've had both times, £10. The streams pay us like 10p, so it's not really about the money for the streams, it's just showing off what we do, and then obviously it helps build trust with customers as well if they see that you know what you're doing, because there's a lot of people that obviously don't know what they're doing or can scam or aren't, you know, that great, so helps us in general just to show off the work. The address for the 360, as in just the website address, just retro6.co.uk, and then go to Send in Service, it's the second option, and then scroll to the bottom. Oh, you donated. Where did it? Which option did you use? Because it's not something. It's not something I've seen other than the donate at the top. That's linked to like the Streamlabs. But I set it all up, and I think that's the only place with the link. So if it's somewhere else, I definitely need to get it to show, because that's obviously going to get missed and not appreciated if I can't see it. Connector off. Is that one empty? Let's grab one now with all the chips on. Based we're in Stoke-on-Trent. Days for repairing specific consoles, we don't really have them. We just literally repair things, whatever's on the desk and whatever comes up next. I can take a look when the next next Xbox is due. We've got 3 in. One's probably due not far off. Yeah, it's got an Aladdin mod chip, 512 SSD, RAM upgrade, not to a fan, deep clean. So that's got quite a lot. So might show that off. UK, yeah, the donate on the website. Yeah, apologies, it doesn't even email me. I don't think I need to set that up because it goes to PayPal, I believe. But PayPal don't email me. Let me just check that now, because that's. I wonder if I can link it in with the streams as well. That'd be useful. PayPal does not want to send me a text message. Come on. There we go. 3rd time. Right, I think I found the page. Yes, it shows me that money's come in, but it doesn't show me a list of them. So I'm gonna have to look into that, but I'll definitely look into that. And sorry I missed that one. It's a good job we caught that. It's obviously appreciated, but I'll try and get it linked in with this little donate thing above as well, so it doesn't get missed. Yeah, the Xbox's SSD, I think it's 2 TB if it's fully loaded. So when you select that option, it obviously comes with the upgrade. You still have to select a BIOS mod, and I think it tells you that you need to select the BIOS mod. That's got the digital zoom, hasn't it? Let's do we zoomed quite far out on this. There we go. Better. I'll just get this chip off, and then I'll just I'll put the stream on. Well, I'll just leave the stream active on here, but on mute. Just going to have a quick 15-minute break. Then I'll be back on, but it's not worth stopping the stream for. I'll just leave it running and come back in a second. The dash, I normally use lithium. You can have obviously any dash you want I could install, but it's all configured and set up for lithium. It's super clean, a single XBE file, and works really well. No affiliate programs, no. I think we tried it before, as in, like, you know, people selling ours, like our products, but it was too much time to manage and not enough interest, really. This one's a Game Gear we're fixing. Well, I'll say fixing. These are just Game Gears that we never fixed up. Too much circuit board damage. So you can see, obviously, lots of rot. Anything, when we see rot like this, we don't really sell them to customers. We don't want to restore all that up and then it be, you know, sending just this cleaned up to a customer. It's not good. It's clearly too much damage on the boards. So we're replacing these with our brand new PCB, basically. So swapping the main chips over onto here, and then they get a brand new working Game Gear. Yeah, the XBMC for gamers, most people use that, but I just find lithium, it's really clean, really simple. Tab between apps, games, recent. It's got everything you need, and it's just way simpler, loads faster when there's a full library, loads way quicker. But if you wanted, obviously, XBM for gamers, just leave a note on the order. Right, so I'm just going to grab a coffee, be about 15 minutes. So I'll just leave this stream on. Let me just probably, tell you what, this is high tech for you. Can't be asked to put a text on screen. I'm going to write you a note to say I'm going to be back in a minute. And then anyone that joins wonders where I am, you know where I am. Back at, what are we on? So 15:15, say. There we go. Wicked. Da-da, look at that. PCB broken stock, yeah, basically. So we've got tubs full. We have all these tubs of Game Gears. We're working through them of like 2 damage that we work through. Ooh, knocking stuff off. So yeah, back in a minute, guys, and then I'll carry on. Right, so much for the 15-minute break. I didn't need to. Someone had turned up, but they've gone, so we can sort that out after. At least I got a chance to get another coffee. Right, where were we at? Smoke break, no, cigars maybe, but not smoke break. Smoked as a kid, but only thing I do as an adult is drink absolutely buckets of coffee. Never had more friends, I'd smoke more cigars, but it's definitely an occasional and social thing. I think a cigar, not a stand outside and smoke by yourself. Yeah, I think I've seen that order for the Xbox just pop up on the phone as well. So I presume I presume you just ordered it. If you haven't left a note about the dashboard, just let me know and I'll tag the order. Definitely need to swap this tip. It's starting to fail more and more. Ah, cool. Yeah, so you did the Xbox for gamers as the actual. Yeah, I think I've seen your name actually on the GitHub for it. I think the original. With a cap off here, I'm blowing it off this board. Yeah, I've swiped one of my caps off. Where's that one? Not sure how I did that. There he is. Put him back on. The original fully loaded hard drive we did had the Xbox for Gamers loaded on it, but it was an older version, and it would have issues when it was like a fully loaded library. Right, he's back on. Let's put that crystal on as well before I forget. I always forget the crystal. I thought something wasn't quite focused. I literally just use the camera now as my microscope. I've got that used to doing this now. No depth perception whatsoever, but works. Just reflow that cap. That looks terrible under the microscope now. Was that a pad or something on top? I think that pad's torn, you know, actually. I don't know whether I've accidentally knocked that off or whether that's just a production fault, but that pad looks definitely a slightly dicey pad. That's the crystal as well, so we'll soon see if that pad's actually too bad to use or whether it's got connection, because that's the main crystal pad. So we'll leave it for now, but just remember, if we get no boot, remind me to check this crystal, because that might well be a problem. Well, this cap. Free will, yeah, certainly does. Are we having a philosophical can't even say the right word, philosophical debate, or are you just meaning something else? But yeah, I think we've all got free will. Let's max this out again. Coffee is, I've got most coffee machines on and off. I go through all kinds of different ones, but this is just the little pods that you get. So you kind of get a decent coffee, like a proper coffee in a sense. You get some creamer without having the time of grinding the beans. When I want to quickly jump and grab a coffee, it's quicker. So it's just one of them, like, I don't know if it's an Nespresso or something similar, but just the little espresso shot pods. I like most of them. This is a Costa one, funnily enough. I like the Law, most like Italian ones. Well, I don't know if the Law is Italian, but Italian coffees I like as well. And I like the Law pods. Obviously, the best coffee is definitely from Jamaica, the Blue Mountain coffee. Had that when I went to Jamaica. Absolutely amazing. Best coffee we've had. That's everything off that board. Yeah, in terms of like free will and stuff, you'll find I'm quite a simple person, so I don't really think that much ahead of today. People think I'm a lot more complicated, or I think way further ahead in life than I do. I don't. I wake up happy, I'll start the day, get miserable throughout the day, a bit of things go wrong, I'll go to bed, and that's about as far as I plan. Can't remember people's birthdays, don't know. The only birthday I know is Rusty's. But yeah, no planning, just wake up, get on with life, and take it for what it is. So couldn't be any simpler, really. Right, where did I put that chip? There. Start with the Z80. Do this with my eyes shut with how many I've made this month. In fact, yeah, I won't actually be on. If I come on tomorrow, it's going to be late on. I've got work all day, I forgot that. So, got some software work to do. So tomorrow, probably, if I'm going to do it, it'll be very late afternoon. I'll get up early, do software, but I'll be on it till 2-3 o'clock at least. Yeah, close enough. Yeah, I think it is a Tassimo actually. It's I'd know the pods because you get like the small cups with like a baby cup, and then you get like the Lungo cups twice the size. Oop, no, what did I do there? I looked on camera, it was in place, looked up, it's halfway across the board. I think we got a little short on that. Somewhere down here. That's it. Looks like maybe there. Mead, yes and no. I'll maybe have one drink of it. Depends on the kind. It's obviously quite sweet, but I personally like it. Just not something I'd go out of my way to get. More of a seasonal thing, I think. I think the last place I had it was in Tallinn, actually. We had somebody on here from Tallinn the other day. Just wanted to reflow that. It looked a little bit grimy still. Had like a little bit of dirt on the pins. That's nice and clean now. Yeah, I've used loads of it this week. CPU. Try and separate one of these 20 CPUs from each other. That one will do. The other two are stuck together with flux. Right, let's make sure we get this on the right way. Yeah, somewhere like that. Oh yeah, Guinness is my favourite drink at a bar. I don't really like normal beers, so it's Guinness and Desperado. I even went to the Guinness Museum in Ireland. It was really good. I'd definitely recommend going there. But yeah, I've had Guinness since I was 14. It's the first beer my dad gave me, so I think it probably goes with the fact that you drink coffee as well, with it being like a strong taste. And then I've just got into Buzzballs, mainly because of a guy on TikTok, that Sips guy. That's got millions of followers now. Just saw him making the drinks, and I just wanted them once I'd seen them, so I brought a ton of them. Yeah, have you ever had the, it's called Guinness Red. It's like a darker roast. I found that thicker and nicer, but I haven't seen it in years. in under the scope. Ooh, hot. Jeez. 3 shorts there. That's it. So just 3 little shorts on. I'll zoom in again unless it already is. Oh, no, it already is fully zoomed. There's just 3 little shorts on these pins here. Bottom 3. There we go. That's them gone. Doesn't seem quite in focus to me. And there it is. Seemed a little bit out. Ah, yeah, definitely you won't get Guinness Red in the States then. It was hard enough to find over here. How would you have it though? Would you have it in the can with the little ball in, or would you have it on draft? Or because it definitely makes a difference in the thickness of it. Like if it's watery, it's normally if you're having, you know, a can with a, I can't think what they call it, the little popper thing that puts the fizz in. And with Guinness, you need it cold. So I used to have a bar outside with Guinness in. And obviously you've got to get your mix of gases right. But you also need, the temperature makes a huge difference when you're pulling the Guinness as to whether it's going to be thick or not. It's definitely an art. We have the VDP. So this one's behaved for the last few. We've had 2 in a row working, I think. So we might be lucky on this one and get 3 in a row. Got the crystal on, so this is the last chip. You want to try a peanut IPA as well. Oh yeah, I've got the little NOS adapter you can buy yourself as well. And yeah, warm is technically the right way, but trust me, cold it is thicker. So I tend to have it chilled pretty much. You need the rusty cam. He's not here at the minute. I can go grab him in a second. I think we'll finish the live with giving him some treats. Got a little slant on that actually. Yeah, there's not many IPAs I like. But the peanut butter one I definitely like. It's like they served it at a steakhouse, but they haven't had it in for a while. I think it's a Brewdog. Might have been Brewdog peanut, but it's just something about the peanut butter taste. It definitely goes with the IPA. Yeah, it's looking okay, I think, there. Yeah, looks good. Let's check out, again, just a quick visual. Right then. We'll put the connectors and wires on after. Let's just see if this works. And if not, maybe we'll check that crystal. Yeah, that's the accent. Right. Are we going to get like, what's this, probably 3rd or 4th Game Gear in a row? Oh yeah, another one. Do we have good audio? Yep, there's another one. Yeah, that's all good. So that's another 2 built. Let's chuck the connectors on then. So we're due to have a bunch of non-working VDPs soon, because that's 3 or 4 in a row now working. Lead fumes, not so much. Obviously you can get lead poisoning, but you piss the lead out if you don't keep absorbing it. It's not like something that stays in your body, so you can just make sure you don't get exposed to it too often. And if I start talking loopy, you know I've had too much lead. Original consoles become obsolete. Yes and no. If you look back at the older consoles and the older computers that have been around before them, they're still just as popular now and still being restored. I think there's going to be a time when they definitely fade out, because like the If you go back another 20 years, start getting into like the TV mods where they're just an RF unit and a controller. There's no real interest in them these days, very few. So I think, given enough time, the generations will forget about it. But I think they've probably still got another 20 years yet of people still being interested in them. And PlayStation 2, obviously longer, but Game Boys, you're probably still talking another 15, 20 years, I reckon, of interest. And the mods just help them be more usable in the modern day, so you still keep the original CPUs of the consoles. It's just you have upgraded screens and upgraded sound and stuff like that. Right, I think that's it for this one anyway. I'm going to crack on with some other work. I'll make sure Rusty's around for the next one. And I'll probably catch you tomorrow afternoon, I reckon now. So thanks everybody for joining in, and I'll see you again in a day or so. Yeah, you too. Glad you joined in. It's nice to meet you as well. I've hope to see you in a few more.